Hi and welcome back to the channel. It's true, my name is Norf and I've been so excited to create this video. Finally, the day has arrived. In this video, I'm going to take you through the gear that I use to create my YouTube content. Not only that, I'm going to take you through the reasons why I have this gear. So if that sounds good, grab yourself a drink, strap yourselves in, and let's get started. I don't know about you, but sometimes curiosity does get the best of us. And certainly watching myriads of YouTube videos, I've often wanted to understand why someone makes a particular purchase or to use a particular piece of equipment. So in this video, I'm going to do exactly that, to remove any curiosity. I'm going to show you the gear that I use, where I use it, how I use it, and the reasons behind why I have it. There are 4 components that I use to create my YouTube videos. Of course, the main component is content. But outside of creating really great content, how do you capture that? So for me, I'm going to talk through the cameras that I use, the microphone that I use. I'm also going to take you through the lighting that I use to create my videos. And then I'm going to take you through the background, what you see. And you'll notice that in all of my videos, they're relatively consistent, particularly over the last few uploads. So let's make a start with the background. On more of my recent videos, I've tried to keep my background simple and consistent. Starting with the background on my 34-inch widescreen display, this is my white on black True North logo, and I'm a big fan of this contrast. My interfaces and speakers sit just below my monitor, with the Moshi Lounge Q in the center of them all. Typically, you'll find my Samsung S21 Ultra charging on the Moshi Lounge Q. Before I start recording, I turn on all 4 of my lights. I have an LED strip light that sits behind my monitor, and I change the color each week I record and upload a video. Sometimes I'll also turn on my Qantas 52cm screen lamp. Sitting behind me, providing some illumination onto the back wall, is my Bowling P1 RGB video light. And then finally, my on-air lamp, and this is usually the last thing to go on. And on special occasions, this guy also gets backlit with the Falcon Eyes F7 pocket light. Some of you with really sharp eyes will spot that I've also got some drumsticks and 2 lightsabers behind me. I'll leave a link just up here with one of the lightsabers that I recently reviewed for Star Wars Day this year. Why do I have these things behind me? To add some texture and depth into the very tight spot that I sit in. I'll post a video up here of the tight spot and what my productivity setup looks like for 2021. Alright, so that's the setting. That's what you see in the background of most of my videos. The second component that I use to create my videos, of course, is my key light. And I'll post a video up here about my key light and about how I've put it all together. But my key light is super important. If you've been following the channel for a while, you'll know that I used to use natural lights. I used to start with what I had, until I had enough money saved to get a proper key light. And the reason I went for a proper key light is that I wanted control over the time that I recorded, and I also wanted a level of consistency in lighting my videos. To record my video content for my YouTube videos, I use 1.5 cameras. Why do I use 1.5 cameras? Well, the half a camera is this one. This is my S21 Ultra, and I use this to create and capture any B-roll footage if my main camera is in use. And obviously, if you shop around, there are some great bargains to be had. My camera and my lenses are all previously enjoyed. In other words, they're all second-hand. After conducting lots and lots of research, I decided to punt for the A6400 from Sony. And with it, I decided to go for 3 lenses. For overhead work, I use the Sigma 30mm f1.4. 95% of the time, the Sigma 16mm f1.4 stays on my camera. And then sometimes for video, but mostly for photography, I'll use the Sony 18-105mm f4 zoom lens. The main lens that I use is the beautiful, beautiful Sigma 16mm f1.4. It is an outstanding lens, super sharp, and amongst other things, I find the autofocus, the color science, and ease of use of these 2 together absolutely brilliant. They truly are a magnificent, relevant, rock-solid combo that won't break the bank. The Sony A6400 combined with the Sigma 16mm f1.4 really are a cracking combination when it comes to recording video. For overhead camera shots, I'll still use my Sony a6400 body, but I'll combine it with the Sigma 30mm f1.4. This is where I'll need an additional bit of equipment in the shape of a small rig magic arm. To set it up, I'll clamp one end onto my shelf, and the other end screws into the base of the camera. Once we're all connected and tightened up, I'll put the lens on, make any final adjustments, remove the lens cap. Of course, you don't think I'd leave that on, do you? And then, voila! This is where the overhead magic happens in this tight spot. And should I need a wider shot, I'll simply replace the Sigma 30mm lens with my 16mm lens. I've recently got back into photography, and the lens that I choose to use for that is the Sony 18mm to 105mm f4 zoom lens. The biggest reason for going for this lens is that for me, I find it's an all-round great lens for everything that I need to do. I'll use it for photography, but also I'll use it for some video applications. A key feature of this power zoom lens is that all the zooming is done inside the lens body. So if I'm using this lens on my gimbal, I don't have to worry about extra weight if I'm zooming right the way out, therefore avoiding a whole world of imbalancing pain with the gimbal. And would you believe this all came in under budget? We've just about hit the middle of 2021, but the Sony a6400 mirrorless body is still a fantastic and relevant camera body to have. The Sony a6400 may not be the latest tech, having celebrated its second birthday in February 2021. However, I'd say it's still packed full of relevant features, either to be used as a second camera, or if you're just embarking on your creative journey, taking photographs or creating video content. And then finally, the most important part of any video is audio. And I use the Deity V-Mic D3 Pro as an on-camera microphone when I'm doing pieces to camera. I'm a big fan of microphones. Obviously, you may remember back in the day I was training to be a radio presenter, so I fell in love with audio at a relatively early age. I love the capture and sound reproduction that the D3 gives me. The D3 Pro is a level up for me. I started using the Rode Video Micro, which was a great starter. It really is a fantastic microphone. But because I felt I wanted to level up the idiosyncrasies and the capturing of the characteristics of my voice, I find the Deity V-Mic D3 Pro does a superb job. And that's it, it's just those 5 components that go into what I use to create YouTube videos. Leaving aside the obvious, which is content, the first thing we looked at was my background of choice. The next thing that we looked at was the lighting that I have in this tight spot. We then looked at the camera that I used, and then finally we looked at the microphone that I use. And that's it. Thank you so much for spending your time here. As you know, I'm a big fan of the number 3, so if you would, please do 3 things for me. If you like the content, please do give me a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you're not yet subscribed, and also hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on when I upload brand new content to the channel. Again, thank you for choosing to spend your time here, and I'll see you next time.